What is up, friend? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over my 2026 planner stack, as well as going over how my 2025 planner stack evolved and where I'm at now. So if that's something you like to see, then just keep watching. All right, so I've got an assortment of planners here, so let me just take that out and show you what 2025 kind of looked like. So I started off in a few planners. I think I was in my personal rings. I did a Moleskine daily. I eventually had a Stology. I don't know what else I started off in, but it was a year of experimentation, and I feel like I'm still in that, but I've kind of found what I like how I use a planner to make it the most useful for me, and that just kind of changes as depending on what book I'm in. So if you saw my previous flip, it was of my Moleskine daily, and this was part of my lineup at the beginning of the year. You saw how I used this. Let me just show you a little example. So here was a daily page, and I would draw in the weeklies and eventually turn into a junk journal, and then now I'm just memory keeping, journaling, doodling to finish off December. So this was part of the lineup, and I dropped this in May because I had multiple books going of doing kind of the same thing, and this just kind of I decided I need to just pick one, so I just picked my Stology. So this went on my desk, and it just became a journal that I scrapbooked in whenever I felt like it, and she turned out great. I love it. So then the Stology became my main planner. So this was volume 1 of 2025, and you've seen videos of this on my channel if you have been around a little bit. I started off super simple. I just had my RSVP pen, added some cardstock and vellum that I already had, and printed out a 2025 year at a glance and just taped it in. Created a future log, very kind of bullet journal style, and yeah, future log for the whole year. So let me just show you the basic setup of my Stology. I'd print out a monthly traditional calendar and then do a bullet journal monthly next to it. I just liked that combo, so I did that throughout the whole year, and then I would go in with my weekly. It was always a horizontal with a week to do. I didn't do a week to do for this one. I just went in with my dailies, but my dailies all stayed the same. It was maybe a stamp at the top, my appointments, to-dos, and then journaling at the bottom. And this was what I did from March until August. This was the most consistent I've ever been. But March and April, I was in and out because I was using both of these. So I'd be in this full time and this part time and vice versa. So I don't have all of March or all of April. I think I started this, the last week of March. So I finished off March, went into April, and then was kind of fully in the Moleskine for April, but I've still got it set up in here. I would pick a theme. I started doing April highlights memories or gratitude for the day, and just I'd use stickers. I'd kind of pre-decorate, which I've said before, just kind of helps me, makes the page pretty beforehand, and I don't have to really worry about it day to day, and I could just brain dump what I need to do for the day and not worry about decorating. May, I fully committed to this, started creating my own calendar on Canva, and I made that available for my Patreon members. I liked doing this as well. So I'd have the monthly with appointments, and I'd have the monthly highlights. So those were the two monthly overviews. May, I kind of went ham on the trackers. So orders, tracker, spending, income, the last time I, mood and sleep tracker, health, YouTube followers, Instagram, and weight. So here's what my weeklies always look like. Anyway, so I'd tape in stuff if I wanted to, but this is the basic gist of this entire journal, and I really liked this. Eventually you'll see, but I would tape in vellum. I'd print it out and tape it in because that was really pretty. Sometimes I would do photo collage if I wanted to. And then I started adding in a page of journaling every single week, and then I would just kind of fill in the journaling as the week went on, and I liked that, just kind of get it off my mind. And then I would use stickers whenever I want. Some days are more filled out than others. And I really liked having the journaling at the bottom. It just kind of made it very doable for me to keep up with journaling, since it was right there in my planner that I was using day to day. So then June, same setup, but I kind of condensed my trackers because I found that I didn't need a whole page for everything. What I eat in a day, workout tracker. I'm kind of flipping kind of fast, but I've done multiple flips of this and whatnot on my channel. Testing out pens. This was a Right Tech fountain pen. I don't love it. Washi tape. And yes, I found that putting the washi tape on the bottom made a bump. So I tried to start like putting it elsewhere on the page, even though I love having it at the bottom. July. And again, so this I print on just matte sticker paper I get off of Amazon, and I just place that down. It's just easier than gluing and whatnot. A little bit cleaner. July highlights. Trackers I condensed even more, but mood and sleep always got their own page. What I eat in a day in workouts. So yeah, that's how it goes for the rest of the year. And I saved the back pages for notes. So some of this is empty because it was my predetermined amount of pages. I have my pen testing in the back, and that's it. So that was all the way through the end of August, and then I jumped into another Stology after that. So I started this in September. So I went all the way to, let's see, September. Okay, so almost to the end of October. And then I thought, I want to change it up. I don't know. I was not feeling it anymore. I was starting to kind of like doing kind of, I don't know what you would call this, but this was, all of these kind of dailies are notes from the day that I don't need on my daily page for planning purposes. Is just kind of things that I was jotting down and I don't know, taking notes on. And this was in my notes section that I set aside. And I kind of liked this. It just kind of was extra space for me to kind of memory keep. So then I started playing with my personal rings again. And then that's when I was jumping into my personal ring planner, kind of my Hobonichi weeks, because I do have a 2025 Hobonichi weeks, which I'm not going to do a flip of because it's not really anything amazing. I honestly was just using my multi-barrel pen, the Uni Jetstream, and using it for appointments and just bare bones what I need. So now currently this is what I'm using. I will show you. So she told you that I'm using this for memory keeping, and then I jumped into my pocket. So this is going to be my purse planner for 2026. So we're kind of overlapping. I'm showing you what I'm using now, but it's also going to be part of my next year's lineup. So I've got a notebook, just a Kaye Moleskine pocket size notebook, and then a monthly from Annie Plans, my 2025 Moleskine weekly, and another Moleskine notebook. So this is my purse planner, and I'm honestly keeping up with the monthlies and just updating the weeklies as I need. And then I have a bunch of notes paper when I need them, because I'm going to be having a lot of appointments for this pregnancy coming up. So I felt like I needed a place to have all the notes in one spot, something portable, but also, again, plenty of notes paper. So this is what I'm using right now, and I have a 2026 Moleskine Weekly that I'm going to swap out at the beginning of the year for that. And then I'm also using an old Hobonichi cousin because I was already debating about having a cousin in my lineup. So it was just in the back of my mind. And then Lindsay Scribbles came out with her YouTube video, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it another shot, because what I've been wanting for 2026 is something that has everything in one that I need: monthly, weekly, daily, a little space for journaling, but just keeping my plans and my habits all in one spot, all structured, something that I can easily just grab and go. But it's not going to be like the main memory keeper, reflections, feelings, or scrapbooking. So this just kind of combines, it's a good all-in-one planner. So I started talking to ChatGPT, and it really helped me kind of finalize my 2026 lineup, because before I had gotten cousin, I set up a Moleskine daily for 2026, and I knew I wanted this to be part of my lineup, whether that be just dailies with a little bit of memory keeping, or just journaling, memory keeping, scrapbooking, junk journaling. So I wasn't sure how I was going to fit in. I didn't want to have to draw in my weeklies every single week or do that much, and I knew I wanted a weekly. I can't just use monthlies and dailies. So I still felt like, even after setting this up, I still felt like I needed something else. And yes, I do have the Moleskine Weekly, which I'm not like forcing myself to use this. It's gonna be in my planner, and I'm gonna fill it out as I need, and then that's pretty much it. And it's definitely not enough space for me to do everything that I need in here. So I'm not holding myself to fill this out every single day. It's just mainly like weekly, and then when I need to take notes on the go when I'm out and about. So I knew something else was missing, and I had been shopping around for the different options, and there's so many options. I was getting overwhelmed, and finally I started talking to ChatGPT, and it helped me finalize it. So the 2026 lineup are these 3 books. The main one being my Hobonichi cousin for 2026, the Moleskine Large Daily for reflections, journaling, memory keeping, and then the Pocket for on the go. When I'm out and about, I can write down appointments, I can take notes when I need to, and that's it. So, and I'm not holding myself to like bring this whole thing with me all the time. Like sometimes I might want to just take the weekly out, or just take out one notebook and take it with me. So I'm not really like holding myself to this entire little chunky system, but for right now, I like carrying this around. But yeah, these are the 2 main players right now. And I'm really excited about this because it really made sense as I was talking through it, and what I need, what I like. ChatGPT just kind of helped me condense that into full, clear thoughts. So the Hobonichi cousin I love because it's structured. It's really good for habit tracking. But then there's less space for long form writing. If there's something I want to tape in, it's probably going to take over my whole page or something. Like if I got pictures, but I also have to-dos and journaling that I want to throw in, there's just not going to be enough space. Especially since I'm going to keep the daily pages for each day, and I'm not going to like white out dates in order to use 2 pages for one day. So that's what I love about the Hobonichi cousin. It's going to keep everything all in one. It's going to be structured. Everything's going to be set up. I don't need to draw out my week. I can just go in and start writing. So there's that. But then my Moleskine daily that I have strong love for. And for some reason in this one, I don't mind like whiting out a date to use a second page. I'm kind of just planning on using it as a notebook. But if I can fit everything all in one day and not feel restricted, then I'll just, I won't white out the dates. But I just love this for junk journaling and memory keeping. So, and it's not ideal for scheduling for me. I can work with it, but you know, the small monthly for one, and then not having a weekly are things that my Hobonichi cousin offers. So I think this will be a great pair. I hope that made sense. I feel like my mind is kind of all over the place trying to explain my thought process, because again, it's been a whole experiment for me, but I'm confident in these two. And it's funny because I just saw KTI Plans' new video, and she's in a cousin too, and I feel like we're just on the same page. So I have all my notes here, kind of like I have a ton of notes on my phone from when I was like mapping out how I was going to use these two together, because I want a system, but I want a clear plan so I know what I'm doing. There's no blurring the lines, you know, and it's just, I know what I'm using, how I'm using both of them, so that I don't feel overwhelmed and I'm like duplicating stuff. So in the morning, I review my Hobonichi. I review the goals, the time, my appointments, my priorities for the day, tasks I need to get done, and I log my habits. Done. And I update that throughout the day as I need to. And then at night, I can, sorry for the noise. At night, I can reflect, do some stickering in my Moleskine daily. I can write my gratitude. I can process my feelings. I can, you know, just capture what I want to capture, whether that's in picture form, doodle form, long form writing, whatever that may be. So I think together, this will help with time management, lower my stress as to where I'm planning, and not have to worry about setting up my weeks or months or whatever. It's just ready to go. Yeah, and it just helps with my emotions throughout the year. So that's that. I'm trying to think of if I have anything else that I want to talk about as far as the system. So I think I'm going to show you my setups for both of these in a separate video, because I feel like it's just going to be too long. I've rambled on enough for this video. If you have any questions about my system, let me know, but I'm going to be going into my setups in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for being here, for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Subscribe to see my future videos if you are interested in things like this. Hit that thumbs up so I know you liked it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.